Hi guys! I've had the heat gun on that big blob of resin for the better part of 2 days now, so let's check to see how it's doing.
It's been sitting at somewhere between 40 and 50 degrees Celsius for, well, like I said, the better part of 2 days now, so I think it'll start to dry out soon.
I think I'm going to try to remove some material along those cracks to see if that'll help it dry. I wanted to remove a bit more material than that, but yeah, this is the bit I used, and it used to be cylindrical, now it's more bullet shaped. So I'll swing by the hardware store later today to see if they've got some bits for this knockoff Dremel tool. It looks like it's gonna be an awesome day today. I still haven't soldered that PL259 connection on my coax cable. The thing is, I only have an electrical soldering iron, and that requires electricity. So let's go see if we can find an outlet. My master's right there, and there are 2 outlets right there, so provided they work, this might actually be my lucky day. Ah, dang it! I have no converter from these plugs to a regular plug, so I can't hook up the soldering iron at that outlet. Come to think of it, I might actually have the old shore power box up at my storage unit, so let's go grab that. Ta-da! This thing has a regular plug at the end of it. Let's go see if that outlet actually works. I think it works. The soldering iron is heating up, I've got my PL259 connector and my coax cable, so yeah, let's see if I can figure this out. After having fiddled around with this for a while, I think I have a good connection. Let's just go ahead and check that I haven't shorted anything out. Looks good. Now let's try something fun. Let's tape this conductor to the outer part of this connector. Now I'd expect to see a short. Yes. And I'd also expect to see a short in the other end of the cable. That means we have some sort of connection at least. I've soldered and trimmed back the conductor, so this connector is done. My GoPro ran out of battery, but I managed to finish both the PL259 connectors. All that's left to do now is to tape the one that's connected to the antenna to provide a weatherproof seal, just like several of you guys recommended. I've placed an order for some tape that was recommended by one of you guys too. It hasn't showed up yet, but that's purely due to UPS, which here in Denmark is really sucky. That's a story for another time. I've just swung by the hardware store and picked up some of these bits for my multi-tool, so let's see if we can remove some more of that big blob of thickened resin. God dang it, it's the wrong size. I'll see if I can use this oscillating tool instead. It's a good thing there's more than one way to skin a cat. I managed to put quite a good bevel on the edge of the crack, and I've just switched on the heat gun again, so let's see how that turns out. Meanwhile, let's go out and mount this guy. There is an awful lot of wind out here, guys, so I don't know if the micro muffs will be able to keep the wind noise at bay, but we'll give it a try. I had a look at some of the other boats, and the holes in their chain lockers were way bigger than the tiny 8mm hole I drilled earlier this summer, so I've just expanded the hole to be a 25mm hole instead. I've lined up the vent cover the way I wanted it to and drilled a couple of holes for the screws. Now I'm just going to mix up some epoxy and smear on the edges in here. I put slightly thickened epoxy on the edges of the hole, and I put this masking tape on top of the hole to make sure that the epoxy doesn't go running down the side of my freeboard. A little later today I should be able to install the vent cover. I just checked the footage from outside on my phone, and yeah, that's a lot of wind noise on it, so no more narration outside today. You might remember this from the previous video, the little doohickey for making sure that there's no standing water on top of the big blob of resin. Well, it almost stuck. I didn't get enough Sikaflex on this part down here, so I think I'll have to get a little bit creative. I have a few layers of fiberglass here. I'll epoxy these together and place this on top. And that way, once this is cured, I can trim this and I'll have a nice big surface to get this to adhere to the underside of the cabin sole. I know it looks a little bit odd, but this is gonna turn out great. As you can see, it's a lot later in the day. I didn't want to end up with a lot of footage with wind noise on it, but I have been busy. I masked off the waterline on the hull, and putting up that masking tape is just about as much fun as sanding, and you guys know how much I love sanding. I then proceeded to apply a single coat of bottom paint. The waterline, the bow and the keel got 2 coats. As tedious as it is to put up masking tape, it is awesome to remove. Obelix is looking pretty good. I purposely haven't painted the area around the prop shaft yet, because I figure it's easier to wait until the cutlass bearing has been replaced. Yeah, and that was the second half of the day. I then went over to the marina and grabbed a shower, got back here, cooked some dinner, and now I need to get busy editing this video. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video, guys. See you! Yurkul and I hope you've enjoyed this video. To be notified about new content, please click subscribe. If you're new to the channel, I suggest you check out the introduction playlist. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment.